Here at the Alley Cat in Kingston. Love that name. It's a great name. Going to do a little lesson on YouTube and naming your channel. But before I do that, I got to use the big ball, not the little candlepin stuff that they love in New England. But we're going to go and get a strike to prove my point. Alright, the first thing you got to do is pick the right name. And you got to have the right focus. That's really important, because if you come up with a name, it's either your personal name or your company name, or maybe something around the theme of your channel. Let's learn a little bit more about that. Here's a video on how to come up with a great name for your YouTube channel. Thank you for sticking around for another video from Byrnes Consulting. The thing about picking the wrong name, it's just like a gutter ball. So you got to focus in on what's going to make your page more successful, what's going to drive the traffic, what's going to get you to get the views, the subscriptions, etc. So hopefully I won't get a gutter ball. This is the 10th frame. A lot of pressure coming off the strike. Ah! That's just like a bad name. You know, nobody's going to search for John 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously I went a lot of numbers there because I didn't want to pick anyone's name and actually pick on them. In our case, we're branding our company. We're trying to draw attention to that. But you really want to think about what's going to convey that message. Is there a theme to your videos? What's going to make somebody to want to come back and watch more and more and more? So very interestingly, you know, it's a chicken or the egg. Do you come up with a YouTube channel name, or do you come up with the name that you're going to use outside of YouTube? Whether it's a website, whether it's something else, social media site, etc. You want to do the search and check that that stuff's not being used. One tip we recommend is go to GoDaddy. Go to GoDaddy and do a quick search and see what URLs are used, and that will allow you to go expand beyond YouTube. If you have a good name, you're probably going to want to expand it to other things, so check to see if that URL is being used. Simply go to GoDaddy.com. They make it really fun and easy to play around with finding some URLs. If you wanted to do something along the lines of this topic, YouTube marketing, you try to type that in and see if it was out there. So YouTube marketing, we would search the domain, and sometimes it can be frustrating. Sorry, your YouTubemarketing.com is taken. So you kind of go back to the drawing board and think of that YouTube name you're trying to come up with and keep playing it around. You know, one that I already played around with to see if it was out there was YouTube Marketing Advice, and it's getting a little bit longer, so it might not be ideal, but yes, the domain is available. So this is where you want to do a whole bunch of different versions. And it's nice if your URL is easy to remember. You do want to avoid it having too many characters. But go to GoDaddy and see what's available out there, and then you'll be in the right spot when you're creating your overall brand and your marketing channel for YouTube. You can really have a YouTube channel that doesn't have the URL, but I would want you to have the whole package, so definitely check out GoDaddy. The next thing you want to do is figure out if the trademark is used for a particular name. And so you want to go do a little registration search and see what's been used and what's not being used. We love a tool called Trademarkia.com, and you go in there and you can see what's been taken and maybe what's not been taken. And again, kind of like we did the URL search, you're just going to put something in. In this case, we're going to put something in just to show you that it exists. So YouTube is obviously taken. So if you go in and do a YouTube search and you were thinking about that being your name for some reason, you would see pages and pages of results around YouTube. This is where you want to go and hopefully find something clean that doesn't exist up there, so you can own the name that would be bigger and better than just the YouTube channel. But then obviously you could use it as your YouTube channel too. So if your YouTube channel becomes something bigger, you're going to want to actually brand it and own it. So that's the registration piece is really critical. You also don't want to get sued down the road someday, so you want to actually control the whole brand. So it's a little bit of a chicken egg. Do you come up with the name first before the YouTube channel name? I would really focus in on getting the name right, whether it's the chicken or the egg, do it right, and then you'll be happy later on. as you get the YouTube name, you're going to want to figure out what's being used in social media too. Do a quick search, and you probably can have different names here and there, but you're going to try to figure out what goes on and what else is out there, so the theme of all your brand names comes together. And you should probably list all those names down in your description too. Similar to what we did with GoDaddy, we like a tool called Name Check. And if you can't see that, it's namechk.com. What that can do is actually help you with all the different social networks. But similar to GoDaddy, you can search what URLs are being used out there. And it actually is really, really powerful. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do something staying with the same theme and just search YouTube, because I know a lot of the stuff is taken. So it'll show you kind of if you had a bad name and you did something like this and you saw, oh man, all these URLs are taking, and guess what? From a social media standpoint, we're looking at Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and so on are being used. That would be obviously an example of something that you wouldn't want to use. You want to think about how to come up with a better name for your YouTube channel. A little intermission on the advice, a little bowling joke for you. Why did the pins stop working? Because they went on strike. So you're watching this video, you're realizing I'm not the best bowler in the world. Hopefully I'm a better consultant. But you might have also not been the best person at coming up with a name and you have an existing channel. Don't worry about that. We'll show you how to change it. If you have a channel name that you just don't like and you want to invest some effort into making the channel better, it's probably right to get the name changed and fixed, although there is a little bit of an SEO search differential if you're trying to change your name on YouTube. But what you're going to want to do is get it right and then build on it. So if you go to your little icon in the upper right and click My Channel, what that's going to do is take you to some options down here where you have the Customized Channel and the Creator Studio. I want you to click on Creator Studio. Then it's going to bring up some options for you, and you're going to want to do the drop down for channel. And what that's going to do is give you this little choice down here called Advanced. And if you click Advanced, that's going to allow you to say, here's the account information, here's the name, and you can hit Change. And what that will do is allow you to edit the channel name. Obviously, you want to hit Cancel because we want to keep Byrnes Consulting, but that's the simple steps if you want to change your name. I wouldn't change it all the time. I would just try to do it once if you're going to change it and make sure you get it right. So put the effort in and get the right name. If you do have to rebrand, think about how you can come up with a name. It's really coming up with 20, 50 names, throwing the spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. Make sure that it's easy to spell. If you're saying it on a live stream or something, you want people to easily be able to go to it. If it's something that is just difficult and long or anything like that, you're probably going to lose some subscriber potential. So think about that name and figure out how you can do it. Get really creative and have some people help you. When you're coming up with names, you really need to be creative. You don't want to use something that already exists. We've talked about that already. One of the most powerful tools is Microsoft Word, believe it or not. As a person that's written over 350 articles all the time, I'm trying to come up with something that's a little bit more creative and trying to make the paragraphs better, but the same things can apply to coming up with a YouTube name. Let's just say as a consultant, I'm thinking about consulting advice, and that's going to be my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to think of how to come up with something that maybe is a little bit better than advice. In Microsoft Word, make it one of your best friends, but Shift F7. You just highlight the word you're trying to recreate or change out with something better, and a thesaurus pops up on the side. And this is where it might give you some information, and actually information is the first thing. Information, guidance, instruction, assistance, and say, hey, you like guidance, but you want to come up with some other ideas kind of similar to guidance. In one click, you can do that, and you can actually figure out those other things are even better than guidance, or you can easily just click back. This thesaurus is great if you kind of go down that wormhole and just keep experimenting and putting things together. something even more advanced would be just to use thesaurus.com. Really simply, just type that in your URL and then come here and type in the word that you want. If advice comes up, there's all kinds of synonyms that you can use, and actually sometimes the antonyms can help you come up with something that maybe would allow you to come up with that creative name that you want for your YouTube channel. Get to use these thesaurus tools. They're wonderful, and a couple clicks you can come up with that name. What I would recommend is put down 20 or so names, all different combinations of words, and some of them might repeat where one word is just varying and switched out with another word. And then get others to actually help you brainstorm too. If you have any of those friends or colleagues that are really, really creative, obviously as a consulting firm, we help our clients with that too, but figure out what would be the right name, what you're trying to come up with, and then use these tools to help you get there. I have no idea what to do here. If we can help you with your online marketing strategy, whether it's coming up with a good strategy for your YouTube channel or something else, please reach out to Byrnes Consulting at byrnesconsulting.com. See how many shots were taken before getting a strike needed for the first scene in the video.
I'll tell you a little lesson after I bowl this. Here we go, hopefully a strike. A little slippery. Alright, let's try that next time. Gonna roll a little strike here and prove my point on the marketing side. Give me 1 second here. A gutter ball, you can learn from that too. A lot of YouTube channels, they're bowling a gutter ball when they come up with their names. But I gotta get the strike first to prove my point. But first, to prove my point, I need to do a little strike action. I gotta get the strike first. But before I do that, I need to get the strike. Here we go. I gotta get the strike. But before I start, I gotta do a little prove a point with a little strike. But we're gonna go and get a strike to prove my point.
Once you win the match in the 10th frame, you can have some fun. Ah, gutter ball. That's a wrap.